Hello, in this video I'd like to show you the graphic user interface of Blender. And when you first open Blender, you probably get something like what we have here. Okay, so you have this cube in the center, you have one light source here and the camera, right? But what I'd like to show you right now is how generic the graphic user interface is formed. So basically, um, Blender graphic user interface has uh, what they call window frames, where they share most of the behavior and the content. Okay, so in this case here, we have many different frames, and each frame, so we have one frame here, one window frame, where we have on top a toolbar. We have a second window frame here. We also have on top the toolbar. We have a third one here. All this area here is our window frame. In this particular case, we have the toolbar on the bottom, and we have a big one here, including this one. Um, this is a single window frame for the Blender perspective, okay? And also for this particular one, we have the toolbar on the bottom, okay? All right, even this one is actually a window frame as well. So if I drag down here, you see the, actually, let me see. Yeah, if I drag down, you see the content, but they're usually not visible, okay? So generically speaking, what we can do, all right. So one thing that we can do is to flip around things, like my toolbar. What I can do with my toolbar, I can, if I right click, I have the option to, let's see, header, flip to top. So I can change the configuration and the default behavior of every particular window frame, okay? Anyways, but people are used to the default shapes. So let's right click again here and say, okay, I want a header, flip to bottom. Actually, instead of toolbar, the Blender terminology is header instead of a toolbar. Anyways, but you usually have commands here, components, and usually a menu. Generically speaking, we can also hide the menu and expand, and we can also hide the entire header. The way you do so, you left click and drag it down, and then we don't see anymore the header for this window frame here. The way to bring it back is using this plus sign here, okay? And this is for all, you can apply for all windows, right? And you can also resize the windows. If you left click, you can drag and change the boundaries very easily. Here, like here. And what else we can tell about the generic windows? I think that's pretty much the ability to flip around the headers, and what else? Okay, I think we can jump to another subject. Just before that, this particular editor, okay, I think I should say that most of the time, I'd say 99% of the time, one window frame we will host a editor, okay? Blender is composed for many, many, many editors, and it's the numbers are always going up. And um, here you select the editor. So usually the very first icon of each frame tells what is about, which editors is active for the given time, right? And any window can become any editor. For instance, right now we have here the 3D view. This is the icon for the 3D view. Okay, if I left click here and select another editor, for instance, I can even bring the info. So this is exactly this editor here. Remember I said that this is the full window, but it's compressed. You cannot see because it's hidden, right? By default. Okay, this is how it looks like expanded, right? All right. So, and you can choose any editor. You can go to UV editor. You can go to dope sheet, and there are many, many editors, even text editor. Anyways, it can become any, right? So this is actually exactly like this. We go in details about each editor later on, and some editors get it by default flip around the header. Like notice that instead of the icon for the header, instead of being here, is now on top, right? It's here. Once I bring back the 3D view, it flips back to the bottom because I think that's the default for this button, right? Okay, so I think we are pretty much for the generic ways for dealing with each individual panel. The 3D, some frames, some window frames may have, we can say, sub frame. Well, I don't want to mix the terminologies, but let's stick with this is a single frame. We can have like a subframe inside. So this, and we have another one here. So the 3D view has two auxiliaries panels. Yeah, let's call it panels, right? I think that's the wording Blender uses. So those two panels and this center one, they are both under the same frame and the same editor. And we usually call those two panels N and T panels. N and T because you use the short key T to show and hide, and N. That's the nickname it got. Anyways, but we can also hide and show by using the view command. So if you come here, you have the tool shelf. Okay, you can hide and you can bring it back, and also you can hide and bring it back the properties panel. Okay. This entire frame is also called property, but this applies for a more broad scope. And yeah, just to don't be confused when sometimes you refer, oh, the properties panel. So when you say generally speaking property panels, we are talking about this one. And this will be the property panel applied just to this scope for the 3D view. All right. So another thing that we can do with panels, it's a so well designed interface. We can do whatever. So let's say I want to duplicate or create a new brand new frame. So how in Blender we create new frames, window frames? So the way we do is very easy. We came here in this very corner. You can see this particular shape here, or icon, whatever. You can left click and drag right to the right. And then you can see that we duplicate somehow the same panel, all right? And then you can, this panel can become Okay, let me rephrase. This frame can become any other editor. Okay, so let's say I want now this frame to become the UV editor. Okay, now we have the UV editor here. Okay, what else? Okay, once we know how to create or duplicate panels, we have to find one way to merge panels. The Blender terminology is refers as merging. I don't know if you are merging areas, but you are not merging the content. So I dislike this terminology. I prefer to delete or yeah, I think remove, you'd say. But the way you remove is very similar. So if I click here, left click, if I go right, I will be creating another one. However, if I go left, you see this arrow that shows, and also there is like a grayish color overlaying. It indicates that the right panel will become an invaded area for the left frame. Sorry, I'm misusing the panel. I should say frame. Okay, the right frame will be taking over the left frame, right? So now, so we create or duplicate going away from the border, and we merge going towards the other frame. Okay, same thing here. If I want to create a new frame here, of course, if I go down, down, if I drag down, I will be taking over. If I go up, or now, now I think I have to abort. If I go up, I will duplicate the panel. Okay, so here's the duplication, and let's merge. If I want to merge this, I can merge, and then I have a single panel here. And don't panic, because you can always bring it back. So if you remember, here we have the property panel. Okay, what is the property panel? The editor. Okay, sometimes I try to memorize the icon, sometimes the wording. Anyways, so now we just brought back the initial. So don't be afraid to to change the layout. And another thing you can do, you can use this. These are pre-defined layouts. Okay, so they are particularly particular for one activity, but usually you may not like the way. So when I'm sculpting, for instance, I don't like, I want to create my own. So the way you can create one, you can come here, create a new one with this plus button, give a name, let's say my panel, my layout, and oops, my layout, or my screen, my whatever work area, and then you can start messing up. Let's say, oh, I don't want the time bar, the time, and let's say, oh, okay, I want something else here, right? Or other way around. There you go. So now we have 3 panels. I want here, I don't know, so I want to see the user preference here. I don't know who wants that, but anyways. And once you go back and forth, it is preserved your layout, right? So my layout, there you go. So don't be afraid to change, be free, and don't worry. The only thing you may consider to create a new one, as I just demonstrated. All right. I think for this short tutorial, that is pretty much. And the next one, we'll be talking about navigating in the 3D view. Okay? Thanks.